Hello, everyone. It's Michael Jaco with Unleashing Intuition Secrets. We have Noah with us again, Optimum Nutrition. So it's going to be quite a good show because we're going to talk about one of my favorite subjects, raw milk. Pasteurized milk versus raw milk, all right? So after this show, if you're still drinking pasteurized milk, shame on you. So what it is, yeah, very, very bad. We're going to give you a lot of information on that. So let's jump in, Noah. Thanks for joining us again. How have you been?
I've been great, honestly. Still repping hardcore, man, every day. It's people know me, by the raw milk thing. So let's go.
I just finished my protein shake with raw milk.
Nice, man.
Have the optimum creatine in it.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Love that. That's a power combo right there.
It is. Absolutely.
Which we'll be getting more into, of course. So first off, just want to say huge thank you again for having me on. It's always an honor and a pleasure, and it's great to be back. So everybody watching, I really hope you enjoy what I've got prepared, what we're going to share today. So I'm going to pull up my screen now. And, I just want people to, take in the information. And, of course, always do your own research. But what we've got prepared, I feel like is going to blow people away. So
it is. And I got a lot to share from my own experience. So it'll be good.
Excellent. Perfect. And at any point, of course, feel free to stop me, Mike. So but without further ado, we're talking about raw milk, known as the raw life force energy. And the reason I say that is because raw milk consumption in humans predates Mesopotamia. So we're talking 10,000 plus years. At least that's what they tell us, but we all know our history timeline has been fabricated. So without, any further ado here, why raw milk? Why now?
Let me stop you right there, Noah. So, we've had, like you say, we've had for thousands and thousands of years, people have been drinking raw milk. But how long have they been heating that milk up and pasteurizing it?
Yeah, I know. It's insane. It's ridiculous. Not long enough, honestly, to prove otherwise that there's inherent benefits to killing all the life from the milk. So absolutely. Thanks for that. So why raw milk? Why now? Well, as you can see from this tweet here from Robert F. Kennedy, there's been a big push towards more natural and holistic, which is going to be the overarching goal of this, is to really hammer home on, going back to what nature provides. And ultimately, many people are reporting health benefits and easier digestion. So, we can see here it's included in the list of things that you have talked about extensively. Of course, the aggressive suppression, not only of all the different stuff that you see here, but of just platforms like yours. So, just getting this information out is of utmost importance. And of course, we already see it happening, but we're just going to see more and more people turning to, or rather back to nature, which is so ironic because in a world where we have access to literally everything at our fingertips, it's actually more so about unlearning and relearning our ancient ancestors' wisdom.
Right. And speaking of Robert F. Kennedy, you shared a link with me, and I'm gonna put it in the description box. And it's in the chat, and it's also in the description box. But in here, he says there's like just a 27-second video. Within that, about 15 seconds in, he says, "I only drink raw milk."
We are so back. Let's go. Yes.
Oh, we're gonna cry. He's like, he's killing the vaccination. He's killing big agra.
Let's
this
go.
Guy's rocking it. I love it.
Yeah. No, for sure. And of course, everybody watching this and hopefully knows he's been beating this drum for decades at this point. I don't really, truly, I'm too young to know, but honestly, this guy I wouldn't want anybody else in office. He's the one who's truly going to bring power back to these holistic modalities.
Yeah. I think he and his brother would make the perfect, or his cousin, the one they said crashed in a plane crash, but it's still alive. I would say the two of them as president and vice president, that'd be a great mix. What do you think?
I couldn't agree more, honestly, Mike. And, let's make milk great again. How about,
Absolutely.
Bring that back.
Oh, no.
Yeah. There we go. Let's go. Absolutely. So why raw milk? Why now? Interest has been surging for all the reasons I just mentioned. Chronic disease at its highest. A lot of people are experiencing thyroid-related metabolic conditions. And of course, we know, inflammation is the root cause of just about every disease out there. There's going to be genetic anomalies, but let's face it, a lot of people are, well, at this point, chronically inflamed. And so raw milk provides a diverse range of micronutrients and bioactives that support cellular health and metabolism. So let's go back in time here, back to 1900s New York City, okay, titled Dirty City Sick Kids. And the reason for that is because this is the source of a lot of the research that was done on milk at the time, and that's shaped today's laws and regulations. During this time, of course, it was a chaotic period of outbreaks, you name it, pneumonia, typhoid, tuberculosis, all of it led to raw milk being in the spotlight. And also during this time, infant mortality was just coming off of its highest in the 1890s, 26%. So, I just try to hopefully paint a picture here of where all the laws and regulations that we are literally still enforcing today come from and what shaped this. So let's just take this into account now when we go forward, and we'll get into the differences, the key differences between pasteurized and raw milk, and why it's very important to be aware and conscious of why these laws and regulations got there in the first place. So tenements, smoke, and damp, the real backdrop, like I mentioned, we're going to paint a picture here. So picture the Lower East Side of New York City at the time was the most populated square mile in the world, over 250,000 people. We know a lot of immigrants migrating over here from Eastern European countries, you name it, all over the world. Over 100,000 to 150,000 horses produce between 2.5 to 3 million pounds of manure and tens of thousands of gallons of urine. I mean, could you imagine all the flies, let alone the fleas, the diseases, the animal-borne disease, all this infection, the nasty pus from all this? And I'm sorry if this is getting gross for some people. I hope people are still sticking with us, but I mean, it's the grossest time probably to be alive, one of them, if not, So manure was piled up in empty lots, sometimes reaching heights of 40 to 60 feet. So, I mean, just imagine trying to back out of your driveway. You couldn't, there's too much manure. They even had specialized workers that would clear the pathways for a fee, for like the higher nobilities, the educated, the businessmen, things like that. And when it rained, oh my gosh, the filth would cover the streets and lead to rivers of this, muck. And then you couple that with, you got dry weather, then producing a dust. Anyways, Jacob Riis, he's a famous photographer from the time period. You go back and I'm going to show some pictures. Almost everybody was living in water-rotted roofs, which we know is literally the perfect environment for mold, which, for anybody who's experienced mold, they know just how, degrading that can be, especially when you're exposed to it on a daily basis. It's probably one of the worst situations you could find yourself in. So, on top of that, in 1928, scientists at the time measured 20 to 50% loss of sunlight in the New York City. Air pollution leading to rickets being a major source of infant death. So, they're going to try and pin it, as I'll show you, on milk being the culprit. But of course, we know that there was way, 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 way bigger forces and variables that they did not really take into consideration, and perhaps for a more nefarious reason. So as we can see here, this is pretty common place for people to be staying at, living conditions that were just literally sleeping on top of each other. No cleaning whatsoever, pretty gross. You got kids here playing next to a dead horse. Hey, why not? I guess. And then here's more of that muck. So people can see here, this is where the science came from, guys. This is literally the time and the place where I'll show you. So more muck. And then, of course, the Rockefeller step in. So 1901.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was hoping you're going to get to this because the Rockefellers basically acquired they were instrumental in acquiring the land in Manhattan that formerly housed slaughterhouses and slums, like you're pointing out here, and donating it to the construction of United Nations headquarters. So United Nations headquarters is built over a slaughterhouse.
Oh my God. I didn't even know that, Mike. That's incredible. Dude, thanks for sharing that, man. Wow. So yeah, I mean, that's a great lead in. So 1901, boom, for only $2,400, which Mike, when I was researching this, dude, I couldn't tell you how ticked off I was just to see for how cheap they completely bought and paid for the public's, mind. And it's unbelievable. So for $2,400, they produced the 1901 milk study to trace basically milk from farms to creameries to the store and check for bacterial and pathogen cross-contamination, which became famous for reasons which I'll get into. Of course, at the time, they found farms were extremely unsanitary. And so the results of this study created the basis for public milk health, safety, and awareness. So this guy right here you see on the right, his name is Herman Biggs. This guy sat on the board of scientific directors for the Rockefeller Institute for Medical Research, which was founded right before the study was made. And he was quoted as saying public health is purchasable. So right there, right in front of your face, they're telling you exactly that they bought and paid for it. Let's keep going. So 1907, the Rockefeller-funded New York Milk Committee begins issuing reports and running public campaigns. Sound a little familiar?
Yeah.
Issuing milk stations. They had a baby week. I mean, what is up with these people? They're sick. Standard pamphlets and conference proceedings. So, of course, it's just like at the time, I'm sure you could probably go deep down this too, but at the time, there was literally nobody stopping anybody from getting people fired up for just about whatever they want. With enough money, they could push any agenda they wanted at the time. So, And then 1908, you've got the advent of Rockefeller allopathic medicine. And this is literally from the National Institute of Health. It is defined as a system in which medical doctors and other healthcare professionals treat symptoms and diseases using drugs, radiation, or surgery. No mention of diet, no mention of holistic health, no mention of nutrition, wellness, supplementation, sunlight, any of these things. Mitochondrial function at the time, of course, they probably didn't know what that was, but I digress.
Now doctors have like maybe a weekend. If you're lucky, they get 2 weeks of nutritional training and their entire time where there's like years and years of studying to be doctors. Unbelievable. This is the result right here. Rockefeller.
Literally. This is it. And this is 1908. This is a key year people should keep in mind. This is the year the first petrochemical-based pharmaceutical drug named Salvarsan was made, which was made up of arsenic. It's literally an arsenic compound, and it became widely used globally for syphilis treatment, which, hey, you know what? And as I'm about to show, there's natural solutions to just about whatever disease out there. There's a natural solution for it, and that's how it was intended. I am gonna point to this on the right here. People can see the poisons will be hidden in everything that surrounds them and what they drink, eat, breathe, and wear. We must be ingenious in dispensing the poisons, for they can see far. We will teach them that the poisons are good, with fun images and musical tones. Those they look up to will help. We will enlist them to push our poisons. Wow. None other than John D. Rockefeller. So,
I've never seen that one before. That's good. See, we're teaching each other. I love it.
Oh, man. Again, man, researching this stuff, I was just pounding the walls, man. Just like, you gotta be kidding me.
Where do you find this stuff? Because anyone can go in and like punch in pasteurization versus raw, and you're going to get 100 pasteurization over raw milk. And then you're going to have to go way down there and find the stuff in raw milk.
Down. Yeah, you're telling me, man. I had to push past a lot of that BS. But thank God, I was able to push past it. I did find some real true information. Also, thanks to I'm actually friends with some naturopathic practitioners, which is great. So I've got information at my fingertips.
Naturopathic
first-hand account.
Yep.
You got to.
Yeah.
And what I'll say too in the second line, those they look up to will help. He's talking about your medical practitioner. He's talking about your doctors. He's talking about the nurses, the RN, all the people that you trust, because of course they, dedicated years of their lives to going to school. But as I'm about to show you on the next slide, this is a centralized educational system, and it's a top-down approach. They don't teach you things like diet, nutrition. They teach you who the people at the top want you to know. And they're only going to tell you what they want you to know because they want to control you so that they can, I digress again. Conversely, a 2010 paper demonstrates that many of the deaths around the world between 1914 to 1934, most of them children, were fatally poisoned during the first mass medication experiments with Rockefeller's allopathic medicine with none other than salvarsan. How's that? So we'll keep going here. 1910, so 2 years later, William Flexner, he's a bought and paid for, talking head at the time, basically came out with this report, which basically was Rockefeller-funded school curriculum guidelines that established that top-down allopathic medicine approach to every school in the nation at the time. So prior to 1908, and there's advertisements out there. I wish I would have included a couple in this, but there's advertisements out there you can see from 1908. Before that, late 1800s, there's advertisements of naturopathic schools people could go study at and learn naturopathic medicine, herbalism, naturopathy, all these amazing, cool things. And then only 15 years after the Flexner report, which this also has to do with raw milk. It also has to do with supplements. The reason why a lot of this stuff is just deemed quackery, only 31 of 155 medical schools remained in the country, all teaching allopathic medicine. So what better way to control the information that people are getting if you corner the market, basically collapse the industry, and then rebuild it with your own guidelines?
So unbelievable. I've never seen it mapped out like this. This is really good. So that's crazy, right? Prior to 1908, nearly all the U.S. schools were naturopathic.
Yep.
And then they flipped it. They paid for it. They bought it, like you're saying. It's greed.
For pennies on the dollar, too. We're talking about a matter of like tens of thousands of dollars. I'm sure there was a lot more, but still, this is just what's been documented. Yeah. So pretty unbelievable. Yeah. So 1912, a report came out for grading milk, which established time and temperature targets for pasteurization and standardized labeling, exactly the kind of uniform playbook that is still in motion today. You can still go to the store. You'll see grade A pasteurized dairy. That's where this comes from. You can't make it up. The word pasteurization means death by heat. Was inspired by, at the time, a Rothschild-backed germ theorist, Louis Pasteur, hence the name pasteurization, whose ideas also led to the concept of the jabberdoos, antibiotics, and the dreaded face masks. So this guy, dude, somebody needs to shove him in a locker. Like, this guy sucks. I'm sorry, but, what is the deal with this guy?
So a lot of people that tried back then, I promise you, and they were silenced in different ways, just like, a lot of us have been now. Now, what I love about this, we're doing this on YouTube Live. We would not be doing this on YouTube Live just a year ago.
Nope.
So things have changed. We've gone from the point where we're in survival mode to basically attack mode. We're full offensive mode now, bringing this stuff out, and we can never, ever let this happen again. And we need to destroy all of these people that did this, try to do this to us, and do it to them, and make sure they never come back again. All right, that's my soapbox. Sorry to interrupt.
No, feel free to keep interrupting. All right, let's keep going. 1913 to 1916, this just shows you. We're talking about grants to the New York Milk Committee, which Rockefeller created himself. $4,000 again, $4,000 again, $3,500. And then there's just random amounts basically in the records, which, for people who really want to take a deep dive, the names of people who are associated with this, which I'm about to show you one of them, Nathan Strauss and the Milk Monopoly. So this guy right here, owner of the two largest department stores. Anybody recognize these? Macy's and Abraham and Straus. So the two largest department stores at the time in New York City. He funded the pasteurized milk laboratory. Okay, so sounds a little bit like a little Chinese laboratory we know, where they, came out with a new designer. Anyways, 1893 opened up the first pasteurized penny milk depot. So this guy literally, he ran a monopoly. So at the time, while Rockefeller was basically behind the scenes coming out with all the science, bought and paid for, of course, this guy was actually the front runner. He was opening up penny milk depots all across the city. And he also then became the New York City Health Commissioner. So, I mean, they're just as crooked as they are today. Like, these are crooks.
Totally.
1917 comes out with a book. Again, this is like literally they're taking the same playbook as like Hunter Biden. You know what I mean? And so he comes out with this book, talks about how pasteurization is the greatest thing ever. And then that basically certifies him forever in history as, the poster child, the golden child of pasteurization. And by 1910s to 1930s, only a few milk processors existed, basically allowing them to control the flow of milk. And on top of everything, well, for one, and I had to really dig for this, Mike. I really had to dig because I knew, of course, secret societies, they're all intertwined into, So the Nathan Strauss Lodge was actually named after Nathan Strauss by Freemasons in New York. He also, in his later years, became obsessed with, it's a little country over in the Middle East, and, went basically bonkers, funding a bunch of projects, we'll call them. This guy, he was, basically inducted in the Freemasonry Hall of Fame, if you want to call it that. He literally has a lodge named after him in New York City, still to this day. So why was milk the perfect target? Well, the most obvious reason, milk demand at the time was massive. 3 million quarts a day. It was the second most consumed food behind cereal. So what do you need cereal with? Well, obviously, public health campaigns elevated milk consumption, especially for children. So it became a cultural staple. Of course, like I mentioned at the beginning of this, it's literally been drank by humans for tens of thousands of years, no problem. And then Rockefeller research basically showed reduced infant mortality as a result of pasteurization. Of course, probably not controlling for all the different variables at the time and, probably stirring the pot a bit, of course. The advent of pasteurization created a centralized control of milk, furthering the distance between farmer to consumer, because he who controls the flow of milk controlled the food supply.
Yep.
And, we'll keep going. I want to actually show now on the flip side. So while all this stuff was going on.
Before you do that, there was somebody that posted about the how much $4,000 was worth from 1915 to now. It gave a wrong number. It's like $50,000. It's actually $127,939 today, right?
Holy, that completely.
Go ahead. So
that was amazing information. Thank you for that. Whoever did that, spot on. Keep it up. American Pediatric MD. So this guy was a pediatric doctor, worked at a children's hospital. Henry Coet. He actually created the guidelines for what was known as certified milk at the time, after losing his son at the age of 2 from intestinal disease. And so certified milk was certified raw milk. 2 years later, the children's hospital delivered its first bottle of certified milk, and at its peak delivered over 150,000 bottles to Newark captives per year. But as we can see from everything that took place after the 1800s, the program was later abandoned due to social pressure and cheaper pasteurization methods in New York City. So pretty much, that went on autopilot, cruise control until 1987. Officially, interstate raw milk became banned. So the FDA issued its, proclamation basically requiring any raw milk or any raw milk or raw milk product to be pasteurized. So states still have the final say. So this is where we do still have our power, and we have to reclaim our sovereignty when it comes to especially what we put in our bodies. I mean, let alone, I feel like this is minutia compared to the elephant in the room. Obviously, we know what the old jabberdoos, but it really does trickle down into everything. And so the fact that they can control the type of milk that we drink should make you irate.
Because we didn't push back on the raw milk bullshit. Pasteurization. That's why we got that vaccination that kills shot. So we have to stop it now. We have to educate ourselves on how they've been manipulating. You've got it to the source right now. So this is fantastic. So from that point on, we move forward and we start to take all their things down.
Yep. Exactly. And it honestly starts with these low hanging fruit like raw milk. Honestly, and we've seen such a big push on social media, at least the people I follow and watch and all that stuff and consume their content, is they're always talking about the benefits of raw milk. And if more people knew like what we're sharing right now, then it would be plain as day, obvious. But so 10 states and counting.
Even back then, they had all of the top people. They had Babe Ruth drinking pasteurized milk. They had these stands before people went in to do the baseball games in New York, of course. So he's drinking raw milk. They televise, put it out there, papers, televise it. They did the same thing with the vaccination program. All right. So the vaccination program, we had all of those stars and everything getting vaccinated. A lot of them are dead now. All right. So we have to be aware that this is very, very wrong. A lot of people have died from pasteurized milk and hardly anyone from raw milk for thousands of years.
Yeah. No, at this point, it's, it's really just a matter of when, not if. Pushing back is the only option. And so, reaching out to your local farmer, figuring out how you can get your hands on this stuff. We got to stop buying the pasteurized stuff, plain and simple. I mean, we got to vote with our dollars, because honestly, the legislation, who knows? RFK, he's doing what he says he's going to do. So it's, again, a matter of when, not if. But truly, like you can see here from this graph, and you can go to realmilk.com. I actually put a link in the show notes as well to share so people can look up in their states. But there's almost always a way you can get around the laws when it comes to this stuff as it pertains to raw milk. It takes really just a little bit of time and effort to be able to locate a source. And so, I truly encourage, obviously, this is the perfect talking point for just buy your raw milk, go support your local farmer, especially, now, and don't wait, because the more of us that stand up for what's right and what's true, I mean, it's just going to be a domino effect. And we've seen it we've seen it happen. It's happening right now. Yeah. So
now, one thing I will give California credit for is they do have raw milk.
Yeah.
And it is for sale, and you can get it as widespread, and raw butter, all kefir, you name it. In Nevada, where I'm at right now, it's illegal. So I have to travel half an hour or so to go to California to get raw milk. So I think that's because of the very, very strong farm industry in California. They don't let the political side, control them. They're in control. So we need more of this across the country. Nevada, there's Hawaii is another problem area. A couple of other states will not allow it. Right, and then almost all the other states have lots of different restrictions. Some, Texas and so forth, and some of the Western states, believe it or not, will allow you to come in and buy from local farmers. So that's good. Local is best, and you can buy it at the farmers markets and all that kind of stuff. But you're not going to buy it in a store. You're not going to buy it from big agri pushing stores, and I'm not going to name names, so I'm going to get us in trouble. But the big corporations that are pushing all this stuff. There's just all this pasteurized milk. Now let's go a little further, and I'm going to share my own experiences.
Yeah, let's do it. Awesome. Well, funny enough, you're exactly spot on what you just said, and I noticed too. Crazy enough, literally, you can't make this up. the first state where they certified raw milk is now illegal. It's one of 3 states that's illegal. It's completely illegal in New Jersey to buy raw milk now. And that's where it came from.
Wow.
Yeah. So what is raw milk? Well, it's unheated, untreated, full fat, and ideally unfrozen milk. And I'll tell you why, because freezing the milk can also have detrimental effects on the nutrition profile. It's obtained from, you name it, cows, goats, sheep, even camels, and not almonds. Almonds are not a source of real milk, okay? So goats have a unique ability, actually, to create their own vitamin C. They still have the enzymes in their body that allows them to create vitamin C. And as a result, goat's milk has significantly more vitamin C.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I like to drink it.
Exactly. No, it makes you feel awesome. So here's some of the key differences. So we're now going to kind of get into the weeds on this stuff. So pasteurization of milk deforms the fat molecules. Okay. It denatures the proteins so they don't fold as easily. And protein folding is a basic function of life. You have to be able to fold proteins. So it deforms those proteins. It destroys the probiotics. Everybody at this point should realize, if they haven't, probiotics are essential for good health, for longevity, for everything. You name it. Vitality, hormones, cognitive function. And of course, it's going to help make you more resilient. It also destroys the enzymes, in which enzymes are essentially like the language of life. Enzymes are produced in every single organ in our body, and they are consumed from the foods that we eat or drink in this case. It also destroys B vitamins, vitamin C, and vitamin D, hence why they have to add in artificial vitamin D, artificial vitamin A. As you can see on the graph on the side, vitamin A consumption is reduced by 35%, up to 77% of vitamin C. I'm just going to go down the list. 14% vitamin E, 66% iron, 70% zinc, which we know, especially during the pandemic. Zinc is incredible for your immune system. Your body needs it not only for your to inhibit viral replication, it also needs it to increase the number of white blood cells. B vitamins, okay, 38%. B vitamins our bodies need as cofactors for every single process in the body that has to do with creating energy. Calcium, not only is it reduced, but it's more so actually the bioavailability, which, piggybacking off of that, the enzymes are 100% destroyed. Like I just mentioned, enzymes are like the language of the universe in terms of helping our bodies to assimilate better. So our bodies must produce enzymes. It's like a necessary function. And destroying them obviously is not good. Immunoglobulins, these are really unique. They help to boost our immunity, which we'll talk about. And then whey protein, of course, we know from like none other than the best whey protein on the market, Intuitive Whey Protein, absolutely the best. Absolutely. No, I mean, above and beyond. So let's keep going here. So common myth, right? People always are like, well, and it's tough to bring up because obviously it's taboo and it's like that by design. And why is that? Well, because most people think raw milk is dangerous. Whoa. And so in 2018, a study looked at foodborne illness outbreaks in the U.S. related to raw milk consumption. These were actually reported to the CDC, and it looked at a time period from 2005 to 2016, and it found the rate of unpasteurized milk associated outbreaks has been declining since 2010, despite increasing legal distribution, which, a side note, it's incredible to think that the more legal it's become, the less dangerous it is, which makes sense because when people are having to hide it and do all sorts of stuff. Yeah. Controlling for growth in population and consumption. So this is a real legit study, some actual real data. The outbreak rate has effectively decreased by 74% since 2005. And at the time, I mean, raw milk was unanimously illegal. You couldn't really, wasn't really, it was at the time, I was 5, so I don't know. Anything, I don't know. But, it's just like in recent years, it feels like it's become a lot more popular. So, yeah. So,
raw milk education, just like what we're doing right here. there's going to be a ton of people that are going to be educated now, and they're going to go for the raw milk. Hopefully they're able to find it.
Yep, exactly. So, and I'm going to hopefully have some resources for people to help them do that. So
Wow, yeah.
raw milk that is pasture raised, full fat, and unprocessed is inherently a safe food. Here's why. Raw milk naturally contains numerous bioactive compounds that kill pathogens in the milk. That's right. It prevents pathogen absorption in the gut, and it strengthens the immune system naturally. Okay, so common myth, no meaningful nutritional difference. I'm going to basically sum up what this says here. 1986, a study looked at moms who gave their babies pasteurized breast milk or raw, and the ones fed raw grew more rapidly. Another study found the same thing. Weight gain was increased, and these are kids, so obviously that's a good sign. And note, the researchers attribute the lower weight gain from pasteurized milk to the destruction of lipase, an enzyme needed to absorb the fat and cholesterol in the milk. So that's another thing. When you heat up cholesterol, like another great example is cooking your egg yolks. Not good, because when you do that, heat oxidizes the cholesterol so your body can no longer absorb it, and it actually becomes a free radical in the body and leads to atherosclerosis, cardiovascular disease, all these things that they say that cholesterol is the root cause of. It's not true. It's just it's nuanced, very nuanced. So cooking the milk destroys the cholesterol. Pasteurized milk is the real risk, and here's why. Pasteurized milk builds up over time in our lymphatic system, resulting in poor detox, aka more stress. Pasteurized milk also kills beneficial enzymes and vitamin K2 necessary for mineral regulation, resulting in buildup of calcium deposits. So this is going to ring a bell for a lot of people, but anybody who knows fluoride in the water leads to the calcification of the pineal gland. Well, guess what? Where do you think all that calcium is coming from? It's not just coming out of nowhere. It's pasteurized dairy. Pasteurized dairy. So vitamin K2 is essential. You need vitamin K2 to tell calcium to go into your bones. And not only that, but vitamin K2 is actually incredible for detoxing your pineal gland, which is why in Ayurvedic medicine, raw milk is known as a vitality booster. It's heart opening. It's sattva, meaning it's cooling, but it's dense. It makes you stronger. It builds up your bones, and it helps you, grow like it does for a baby calf or, a baby. The pasteurization also kills the living bacteria that are responsible for epigenetic changes. So, Mike, you can speak on this. The epigenome is way more important than our actual DNA, because the epigenes control our actual genes, the epigenome being our environment. And this is why this whole idea of germ theory, basically the idea of dangerous pathogens, is seriously flawed, because it doesn't take into account the internal environment of the individual, of any organism. And so by changing the epigenomes with these beneficial probiotics, you're able to increase your life force energy and vitality.
Yeah. Now, when I was a baby, my mom breastfed me, and she said she couldn't breastfeed me because I get sick from it. So I know my mom was very much into pasteurized milk because she pushed it on me for quite a long time. So the same thing happened with my son. He was breastfeeding. He was doing great. His mother, she would drink milk or eat cheese, and he'd get sick, crying like crazy. She couldn't stop eating it or drinking it. So we had to get him some a soy alternative, but he did good after that. Now for me, and I'll relate to my son, how I figured all this out. When I used to go to a nursery. So my aunt ran the nursery. So before I would go sleep, because she looked after me and stuff, she'd make me drink a full glass of milk before I went and for my nap. So what would often happen is I would, pee, right, while I was sleeping. And this is one of the things that happens with pasteurized milk. You lose control of your bowel movements. So the same thing happened with my son. He was like, later in, he was like in his, 5, 6, he's still wearing a little diaper thing. And then it dawned on me, it was the same thing was happening with me because he didn't like to drink milk. But I made him drink it because I had always thought that kids need to drink milk for their bones and all that stuff, right? So I stopped him. I cut it out, and he had no more urinary problems. When I did bodybuilding, if you've ever seen that bodybuilding movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, Pumping Iron, they asked him, "Do you drink a lot of milk?" Because that was because he was like, muscular and big and everything. So milk does a body good, right? So that was the lie that they were pushing. So Arnold crushed it. He says, "Milk is for babies." And when I did bodybuilding, I learned that no bodybuilder that is going to win a bodybuilding contest drinks milk because it causes inflammation and you swell. You don't want inflammation when you're cutting and you want to, display your muscles.
Right.
So everyone stopped drinking milk. Everyone stopped drinking all that stuff, pasteurized milk. Now, raw milk, completely different, guys. Completely different. So this is where so I started drinking raw milk again. I stopped drinking pasteurized milk completely decades ago, but now I'm drinking raw milk again. I'm very happy about that, and I don't have any of the problems now that I understand all of the stuff that Noah's teaching you right now. So it took me a long decades and decades and decades of observation, and then of course actual doing to get to the point where I am now, where raw milk is good. I even worked on a dairy farm, and I used to drink the raw milk, and it was like fantastic. And I was like, why can't we get this all the time? So this is where we're at. This is the lie we've been taught, that pasteurized milk is good. Pasteurized milk is poison, right? Period.
Absolutely. Yeah. Great stuff. Really hitting it home there. So, and like yourself and with your son, the pasteurized milk, your body doesn't know what to do with it because it doesn't have imagine if all the cells in your body were like tuning forks and the nutrients were just trying to find the right tuning fork. But when the system is muddled up with all this goop that's, again, building up over time in, your body's essentially like your body's pathways to find the where it needs to go, it's not able to. And so ultimately pasteurization destroys the energetic, structured, coherent state of milk. So it's a colloid. It's very well mixed naturally. And so when they pasteurize it, basically they separate the fats from the protein from the actual water. And so you're seeing literally basically a recreation, a man-made recreation, really just a chemical concoction, because at that point they've already introduced synthetic vitamin A, vitamin D, which honestly, toxic. I don't want that in my body. So raw milk's nutrient profile. Let's do it. Macronutrients wise, raw milk or milk is unique in that it contains all 3 macronutrients, fat, protein, and carbohydrates. Only few foods occur in nature like this. It contains all 23 amino acids. It's a great source of leucine, okay, which especially as we age, we have to get enough leucine because leucine is the primary driver of muscle protein synthesis. Think of it as your body's biggest lever to turn on muscle growth and retention so that you don't lose it. Because, of course, we know one of the biggest, call it diseases as we age, is sarcopenia, loss of muscle mass, which comes from not consuming enough protein. And this goes for both men and women. You have to be consuming at least, honestly, there's a lot of different, schools of thought out there. As long as you're getting 0.7 grams per pound of body weight, or at least your ideal body weight per day, then you're good. Then you're great, actually. You're golden. If you're working out consistently, you can consume 1 to even 1.5 to even 2 grams of protein per pound of body weight. And taurine as well, which it's actually a non-essential amino acid, which is absolutely insane because taurine has been shown in animal models still to extend lifespan past 15%. I mean, even if a third of that translates to humans, that's like 4 to 5, I don't know how many years added to your life. So taurine is extremely abundant in raw milk. This is an anti-aging food. Okay, it contains every single essential and non-essential fatty acids, some of which are absolutely going to blow everybody away here. So I'm going to get into that, but it's a great source of CLA, conjugated linoleic acid, which is basically it's a derivative of a lesser good for us fatty acid known as linoleic acid. So the raw milk conjugates it and turns it into it turns a negative into a positive. The CLA actually increases fat burning and upregulates our metabolism, and it's really good for overall energy and vitality. Omega-3s, of course, we know, reduce inflammation. They're essential for our brains. Our brain is nearly entirely composed of omega-3 fatty acids, and they're extremely abundant in raw milk, specifically ones that come from real grass-fed pasture-raised cows. So you definitely want to make sure, and we'll be talking about that more, but grass-fed always. And
know the source of everything you eat and drink, know the source.
Yep, exactly. Because if you don't, then really they could be feeding you anything. So, and it just goes back to, you got to question everything. There's a reason why, I sought out raw milk, as soon as I moved down here to Florida. There's a reason why I sought out, hit up one of my buddies who owned a farm back home in Iowa. He wasn't, he's a great guy, but he definitely wasn't supposed to be doing that. You know what I mean? But, so it's a little bit of who you know, but really just, making the intention, really. It starts with that, making the decision really to that you're going to reclaim your health, your sovereignty, your freedom, and that you're not going to let people push you around and tell you what you need to eat or drink or consume. There's a super rare odd chain fatty acid called fatty 15. A lot of people listening to this right now probably are aware of the supplement out there called fatty 15. I'm going to completely debunk that supplement here in just a second. It's mainly taken to improve metabolism, weight loss, things like that. But I'm going to get to that. Also a great source of carbs, milk is. So 1 cup of raw milk has more of this odd chain fatty acid 15 than this supplement here, which a lot of people take, that goes for $150. So 1 cup of raw milk, I mean, we're talking, less than $1, you know what I mean? Versus having to pay $150. I think I'd rather take the natural whole food that God intended for us. So there's that. I don't, obviously, I have nothing to do with this company or anything like that. And I'm sure the product is outstanding because there is a lot of research on this, but when you can just get it from a food, that's always going to be my first option. So we'll keep going. Minerals, it's got every mineral the body needs, hands down. Calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, zinc, selenium, also a great source of iodine. So especially, again, this actually is so ironic. It's so crazy that they keep the natural solutions from us to the problems that they gave us in the first place, because iodine, we need it for our thyroid. We need it for our fluoride to detox. Okay. Iodine is essential for detoxification in the human body. So the ramifications of not having enough iodine is a slower metabolism, is increased weight gain, is less energy. Even your appearance, your attractive features, your eyelashes, your you name it, your nails, everything, your skin quality, and not to mention your gut goes back to the health and the quality of your metabolism. So iodine is absolutely essential, and raw milk is loaded in it. Next, we got the water-soluble vitamins, B vitamins. This is super cool. I want to throw in there too. So nicotinamide riboside, also known as NR, was first identified in raw milk back in 2004 by Charles Brenner, who later went to study its anti-aging effects at the University of Iowa, which I am an alumni. So, want to throw
nice.
Let's go.
Very good.
We're known for a few of them.
Whiskers, good.
This is one of them. So go Hawks, baby. Let's go. Because of this discovery and ensuing research, because of this guy, NAD supplements are now over $500 million industry, really thanks to raw milk. So raw milk contains traces of NAD plus precursor vitamins.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Bonus.
Boom. Big time. Yeah. So, and then you got your fat soluble vitamins. This is vitamin D.
They tried to outlaw NAD during the pandemic, and it didn't quite go down, but they did restrict it quite a bit. So that's interesting. You could have got it naturally. Sweet.
Literally. Yeah. And what better way to get it, honestly? You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Always.
Right. Fat soluble vitamins. We got them. Vitamin D, vitamin A, vitamin E, vitamin K. We already talked about. 1 cup of raw milk is equivalent to a vitamin K2 supplement. I just love this. Like people, yeah, it's mind blowing. And so, that's why everything I sell, honestly, man, I don't try to replicate what we're already intended to consume naturally from our diets. So everything that we offer at Optimum, which people who don't know, I am the founder of Optimum, and we literally sell the best supplements that are going to help fill in the gaps from your diet. So, boom, nutrients that you can't get from raw milk, we got you covered, and there's a lot we could go into there, but basically you can see here, vitamin K2, we don't sell it personally just because you can get it from raw milk. It's that simple. So pretty crazy. Nutrient profile. We're going to get into some enzymes here. Lipase, we mentioned earlier, breaks down fat. Okay. So as we age, especially, your body's natural enzyme levels plummet. I'm talking like very much so. And so you have to be consuming dietary enzymes. And raw milk, again, a lot of these foods naturally contain them. And lipase, great for breaking down fat. So especially, if you have troubles like with bile, or maybe you got your gallbladder removed, raw milk has naturally got you covered. Protease, essential for protein digestion and absorption. And then lactoperoxidase. This is a natural antimicrobial. It's produced in the body as a first line of defense against bacteria and viral agents. This screenshot is directly from Wikipedia. It says lactoperoxidase is considered a very important defense against invasive bacteria and viral agents such as influenza and the SARS-CoV-2 virus when sufficient iodine is provided. Again, no mistakes. Nature does not mess up. I mean, this is a slam dunk in anybody's book. And if you could put this in a pill, I mean, shoot, they would have by now. So then I've got a study here too, which actually I'm not going to pull up right now, but it does actually destroy biofilms and prevents dental caries. So want to throw that in there on theme. So, we've got alkaline phosphatase. Okay. This study here, basically the anti-allergic effects of raw milk are thanks to this alkaline phosphatase enzyme. I've got a bunch of information here. I mean, people can go deep on this, but basically this decreases your risk for mortality. It lowers your risk of cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, all of it. And it lowers endotoxin, helps to reduce gut inflammation. I'm sorry if I'm going a little fast here. Catalase, another potent antioxidant. It's been shown to extend lifespan by over 20% in mice, reduces wrinkles and age spots, reduces hair graying, kills the C word, lowers the risk of all the major killers. I mean, this study here, catalase is a longevity determinant enzyme. And again, our levels naturally plummet, they drop. So make sure to get your catalase. Lactic acid bacteria. Now we're going into the probiotics. Okay. Bacteria are great, not only because they help to basically, improve our performance overall. They also produce their own nutrients. Very little known fact. So these probiotics help to create peptides in your gut, okay, which actually help to reduce blood pressure levels as well, which you can naturally get from things like aged raw cheeses as well, which I should have probably told you this at the start, but raw milk, while it's illegal in a lot of states, raw cheeses aged past 60 days are totally fine. They're totally legal. Right now, you could probably walk into your local Walmart and get some raw cheese made from raw cow's dairy. That's going to have all these same benefits and some. So, and it also helps to reduce allergies again with some of the beneficial probiotics found in raw milk.
Good point about the allergies. Very good, very good. And yeah, raw milk cheese. I mean, it goes back, way back in history, France. the French and a lot of other, warrior groups used to carry white cheeses made with raw milk. Of course, they didn't have pasteurization back then, and it would last a long time, and it would give them the nutrients and stuff that they needed. So this is, we're rediscovering this, I guess, now in America, because this is something. I don't know if they pasteurize in other countries. You know, if they pasteurize in Europe and stuff.
Personally, I think the problem is, well, I guess really they're a lot closer to the farmers there. So I don't think, you know what I mean? I really don't think so as much. I know in places like Germany, Switzerland, they actually have raw milk vending machines. So yes, actually they do drink a lot more raw milk over in Europe.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And also too, something I want to throw in there too, which is super cool that they found during the pandemic was that women who had the natural antibodies from COVID and who breastfed their babies, actually they found the antibodies in their breast milk. So almost like the same thing here, where the cows, which eat the grass in your local environment, are actually supplying the antibodies to seasonal allergies. It's kind of like raw honey as well. Notice a lot of the best foods for us that are naturally immunity boosting are in their raw natural state. It's incredible.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
So I looked it up, and they actually do. They do ultra high temperature, so they really kill it. So.
Well,
but some places like you're talking about, the farmers and stuff. I agree with you. The farmers. Although remember during the COVID lie, they really started coming after the farmers. So that's and that was because they had the excuse that the animals weren't vaccinated, and who knows, because a lot of people are saying in the chat, make sure the animals aren't vaccinated. So that's another good as well.
Absolutely. The nice thing about getting milk that has been certified organic is they cannot give those cows antibiotics. So at the very least, you're not getting those, which is great.
Pasture, they're in the pasture eating grass and stuff, and they come in all happy. That's the way it was with the farm that I worked at. The cows were like super happy. Unfortunately, when they milked them, they pasteurized it, but the farmer took some out for his own use because he didn't drink that shit. This is the way I make money, he would say. But he had raw milk on the side, and we would drink that, and it was exceptional. Oh my God.
Wow, that is mind blowing, Mike. That's insane. That he had the foresight back then,
Oh yeah, I promise you, probably most farmers, unless they've been, they're not going to come out and say it, because then they would get shut down. Mm-hmm. But I bet most real farmers will tell you that. But if they're doing the pasteurization, they're hooked into the system, they're not gonna say anything.
No.
And most of the pasteurization happens on massive agra farm, big agra. They're trying to push out the little farms. That's what's happening right now. That's a big problem as well.
Yeah. None of this cricket food nonsense. None of that crap. Like they want us to be eating bugs. Literally, Klaus Schwab, Bill Gates. All these guys. They don't want us to eat real red meat or raw milk. So that should be a reason to go out to your grocery or your local farmer tonight and get some. Stock up. That's what I say. But IGF-1 is a major growth factor found in raw milk. It's bioavailable. This is, again, going to be one of those wonder nutrients for increasing muscle growth in the body, which this is killed from pasteurization. So, and to your point, too, about the bodybuilding aspect of it, too, obviously I'm not by any means bodybuilder, but, I'm fascinated by the world of it. And from what from everything that I've seen, like a lot of bodybuilders say, and I'm sure you could attest to this too, but like drinking a lot of pasteurized dairy makes you flat. It kills the pump, and IGF-1 actually stimulates the muscle pump. So literally drinking raw milk is going to help to boost that pump instead of bring it down to where, your muscles, like you said, you look inflamed, and nobody wants to see that physique,
Mm-hmm.
So lactoferrin, it's a natural antimicrobial. It's also been shown to increase testosterone even 7 weeks after ingestion in men. So lactoferrin, we could talk on this all day. This kills parasites, funguses, viruses, you name it. It helps prevent the absorption of too much iron, which can cause hemochromatosis, basically, where like how iron will rust, it basically has a very inflammatory response if it stays in the gut for too long. So lactoferrin basically detoxes it at the source level, and then has a promotes performance. It's really great for gym workouts, stuff like that. Even just overall daily energy levels. Lactoferrin, that's a great one. And then these immunoglobulins too. These are natural antibodies. So that's what I was talking about. These antibodies are naturally produced in the milk, and they bind to bacteria and viruses in our bodies. Super cool. So a little bit of information we're going to start to get into now, some of the sourcing on this stuff. A1 versus A2 beta casein protein. So these are two different polymorphisms of milk. Basically, there's two different types of cows for simplicity. One of the cows is ancestral. These come from the A2, which is much easier digested and well tolerated by most people. If you have an issue tolerating dairy, it's probably, almost certainly, I'm positive, 99% coming from an A1 milk source, a cow that produces A1 beta casein protein. So you can get A2 milk at the store, raw milk most of the time, like what I've got here. This is from A2 Jersey cows. So best milk you can get. And then I'm going to basically start to kind of tie it back to the grass-fed, conventional, what to look for. You guys can go to, like I mentioned, it's realmilk.com. It's part of the Weston A. Price Foundation. The guy was well beyond his years and would go basically explore the world and talk to indigenous tribes, found that they had the best health, the lowest rates of chronic diseases, the best dental health. He was a dentist, and they ate mostly, animal foods, raw dairy, you name it. So people who are looking to get a raw milk, you're definitely going to want to look for grass-fed, grass-finished. That way it wasn't eating any of the glyphosate sprayed grains, because just like when humans eat glyphosate, the cows are also going to experience the inflammatory effects from it. And so you definitely want to avoid that as much as possible. A few more things here too, in which, again, Optimum, that's my company, and people who drink a lot of milk are missing out on collagen. Collagen is not found in dairy. So you got to get collagen in your diet. It's one of those things, again, that plummet. Our bodies lose the ability to naturally produce it over time. So for things like joint health, you name it, ligaments, connective tissues, tendons, skin health, wrinkles, it's anti-aging. It's going to completely transform your gut health as well. It helps to basically realign the inside of your gut, your intestines. It builds up the intestinal wall as well. What's that?
No, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. So, a lot of different ways to get collagen. It's pretty tough, though, to get it from your diet, which is why hydrolyzed collagen peptides are extremely bioavailable. I'm a huge fan personally, so a lot of benefits to that. And again, you're not going to get it from your fish, your dairy, your meats, your eggs. Those foods are very low in collagen. So actually what longevity science has shown us is that the ratio of basically collagen to your regular protein has to be adjusted in order to live a long life, in order to live well beyond 100. Hey, it's completely doable and more than possible. It's happening right now. People are doing things, using anti-aging interventions like supplementing with collagen peptides. Beautiful. And then you also, and creatine, okay? A lot of people know about it. Mike mentioned it at the start of the show. I've got some right in, this is some watermelon juice, fresh juiced with the A2 Jersey cow raw milk, grass-fed, grass-finished, bought from a local farm here in South Florida. You can't make it up. You can't get better than that. It's got 5 grams of creatine monohydrate in it because creatine is not found in milk either. So notice these things that I'm talking about, yeah, they're supplements, and I happen to be the owner of the company that provides these, but it's because I personally use them, and I can't get them from eating. No matter how much raw milk I drink today, I'm not going to get even close to 5 grams of creatine. Creatine is great for your brain health. You need it. Our cells use it to recycle energy so you can have way more endurance, stamina, less fatigue throughout your day. It's going to help pick you up naturally without stimulating your nervous system like coffee does. It's incredible. It's personally been a game changer for me.
Yeah, fantastic. So tell everybody how they can, get to your website and, some savings benefits they might incur if they use Jaco code.
Let's do it. Absolutely. So I'm going to pull up our website here so people can.
Thank you.
Yeah. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Again, it's been an honor to share this stuff. I truly, as you can tell, super passionate about it. So it's always a pleasure every time I can get on and talk to people about it.
Yeah, this is extremely informative. This should be one of those that people give their friends if they're trying to convince them that, you should be drinking raw milk by Pasteurized. We need to inform everybody going forward. We need to get rid of this crap they're doing to us. Cricket food and all that Bill Gates bullshit.
None of it. Absolutely won't have any of it. They can't make me. So that's what it is. But people can go to liveoptimum.co. It's going to be the first link in the description box, and you can use code Jaco to save 10% off our intuitive bundle. All right, which this is going to include everything that we've talked about and then some. So if you saw our last show that we did just release our new BPC 157 product, which I'm really looking forward to Mike getting his hands on. We just got to get the shipping figured out. But
yeah, I live in a place that doesn't have mailboxes. So if Amazon or, one of the other companies, FedEx or whatever, delivers, they'll drop the package at the door. But everybody else, they're looking for a mailbox. There's none. So you have to ship it to a post office, but we have to have a post office box. Because in the winter, this place is like jammed. There's no mailboxes. The mail's not going to come. So you got to get it yourself. And that's the way it is in a little community. Little communities are like that. It's pretty cool, but kind of inconvenient too. So hopefully it's down there waiting for me in the post office box. But even at the post office, they did an audit, and I went in there yesterday just to check, and the key didn't work. So I was like, what's going on? They're like, oh, we audited. You're gonna have to bring all your keys in and have them rekeyed. And I was like, this is so typical of the federal government. So,
oh my God.
Oh my God.
Yeah, man, really hit the nail on the head there. Yeah, they're doing the Lord's work out there with that one. I mean, gave you some, some free content, I guess. But people can go to our website. Anyway, people can go to our website. We've got 106 5-star reviews on this stuff. So it's all third-party tested. Everything that we do is manufactured in the United States. The shilajit, though, we have to get from the Siberian mountains of Russia. So all of our products besides the shilajit say made in the USA, because we just honestly, I'm not going to do that to people. It is sourced from Russia, but then of course we manufacture. So, made in the USA, but hey, free shipping on this bundle too. It already has a built-in discount. You're saving $50. Okay. Plus then on top of that, you throw on Mike's Jaco, use code Jaco for an extra 10% off. You can go through, you can read reviews. These are from real people. We've got a bunch of different people who have tried out our products over the year that we've been in business now. And so really excited. I've got another product going to be releasing soon, which we have mentioned before, but this is going to be great for anybody who's looking to recomp their physique, who's basically looking to lose or rather increase the amount of lean muscle tissue, okay, and decrease the amount of visceral body fat. So kind of a way of getting around, hazy regulations, but, it's going to be incredible. I'm really pumped. I've been using it myself. I've, literally been getting in the best shape of my life. Thanks to honestly, just that South Florida sun has just been killing it for me. So it's great, but No doubt this product is going to absolutely change the game. It's going to change lives. And I try to be cautious of saying those words, but it's true. This product is absolutely going to change the industry as well. There's nobody who's doing it at this level. And especially with the amount of, very unique and rare ingredients that are patented, trademarked. You can't make this up. It's going to be probably the best, for the time being, the best thing that we've ever come out with. So look forward to that next month. I'm going to say it now. I'm going to put that out there. So next month.
All right. That's coming up. It's not too long.
Yeah.
A week or so. So nice. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely. So, but hey, thanks for having me on, Mike. It's been a blast.
Yeah, thanks for sharing this extremely valuable information. I've always wanted to, I've talked about raw milk over the years. I've given little tidbits of information, but this is like just a blast of information. I mean, you can come back and, review it or go into the information that we've shared. It's just fantastic. You did a really good job, Noah.
Thank you.
Like I said, everybody in the world should watch this. It just breaks it down. And if you're still drinking, some people, they don't think it affects them, but you're getting chem sprayed and you're getting your food managed by big agro. You don't know what's going on in your body sometimes until you have a problem, and then you're like, oh wow, I have heart disease. How did that happen? Or I have that C word you talked about, cancer. Hey, I said it. But there's a lot of stuff that's going to come up. You keep junking your body, and your body's going to go, that's it, I'm done. All right. So get the real good stuff. I mean, at this point, you should be running, not walking, to find raw milk, raw cheese. You can even order raw cheese online, guys. So I don't know, maybe it depends. I haven't done it here, but maybe in Nevada I won't be able to do it because they restrict raw food. So I don't know. So I'll have to go over to California, which, I hold my nose going to California. I don't like the politics, but I like the food. So at least the food's still good.
Hey, at least they got that, going for them.
View behind me that goes over to the California side. So they still got good views too.
That's right. They do. Yes, they do. Yep.
But I don't know how much longer they're going to have a bad political situation. At some point, that's going to destroy California. It already is. I mean, California has like crazy fires and stuff. They're not managing the land. We could just go off on a show on that. But it's, here in Nevada, they manage the land. How about that? Wow. What a concept. And they don't have fires like California does. So, but they have a lot of desert too. So, all right. So does California. All right, Noah, awesome show. Always good. You had great products. Hope people, go check them out. It should be part of your the products that you're consuming at this point. They are for me, have been for a while now. So thanks for what you're doing, the new products you have coming forward, and we look forward to more. Thanks.
My pleasure. Thank you so much, everybody.